snack company. We worked with them, skis.com. I worked on hollywood.com, life.com, lots of big websites where people would buy things. And so, yeah, that's kind of the companies we work with. I'll go back here.
What happens if you don't know how to do it?
That's a good question. One of the most important things that I have learned and that I teach my staff and that you guys, it would be very important for you to learn is, it doesn't matter that you don't know how to do something. What matters is that you learn how to learn, okay? Does that sound kind of weird how I said that? You learn how to learn? Because guess what? Tomorrow, a new device is gonna come out. The iPad 17, it's gonna be crazy, right? But we don't know how to use it because it just came out. So what do we need to do? We need to learn about it, right? So this is something that you guys can really take away from our session today, is to think about the activity of learning is extremely important, because it's going to be really important when new technology and devices and coding and programming come out. If you learn how to learn, you're going to be in really, really good shape.
How do you actually take websites and then put them online so you can search for them and buy stuff off them?
Yeah, it's kind of a long process, but there has to be a computer behind the scenes that kind of holds that website together, and then it tells the whole internet, hey, if you're looking for this website, let's say for example, ByronElementary.com, right? It has to hold that website so that when somebody asks for it, hey, what's Byron Elementary website? It says, I've got it here, come look at it, it's on my screen. That's how your screen can see that server screen. Does that kind of make sense? We got over here.
Why do some apps cost money?
Why do some what?
Apps cost money.
Well, here's the thing. Behind that technology, there's people. There's people who have lives, right? Just like your mom and dad. And so they have jobs too, right? So the people that make your apps, they need to eat too. And they want to go on vacations. So they have to charge something, right? There needs to be some sort of return. Otherwise, they would just work all their life and not get anything. So you have to think about, and one of the things you guys can be looking for as you do apps and websites is, how does that app make money? Or how does that website make money? Maybe it's through advertisements in the app, or maybe you pay money for to download it. Yeah.
Do prices go up for if one game gets popular? Will they put the prices up, or if it's not as popular anymore, would they put the prices down?
Well, that's a pretty good observation. I think that does happen, but it's really kind of up to the business that runs the app to make those choices and to make sure that whatever they charge, or if it becomes more popular, that money then is enough to pay them for their bills and then pay them for their employees and stuff like that. Way back here.
Do you go and teach classes?
You know what? I realize that I would love to do such things, but I don't. For the most part, what I do is I teach people in my office how to do what they do. So I am a teacher to a certain degree, but not for kids, which would be a lot more fun. What do you got here?
How long has the business been going?
Well, the business started in 2007. I joined it in 2009, and it was a completely different company when I joined, and when I joined, we kind of realized that we could help people do these things. We could help them run their websites. And so one of the things that we do, if you think about how you change things, is like, for example, if you're going to build something, sometimes you have to measure it, right? With a tape measure, you have to figure out how long of a piece you need. Well, we do a lot of measuring of websites to see how many people come to them. And the people that come to them, how many of them look at a product? And then how many people buy that product? And so we look at all those measurements, and that helps us understand, how does the website need to change? How can we make the website better and make it easier for people to shop? Yeah.
Do you make the games too?
You know what? I have made games, but nothing that you guys have ever played. It's just been more of a hobby where I've made a computer game. Go back here.
Did you play your computer games?
Did I play them? Yes, but they weren't as fun as the ones that people make. I was really trying to, like you guys are going to do today, I was playing around to see what I could do before I decided what I was going to do. And so when I made the game, it was just to see whether or not I could make a game or not. And then I realized that I could, which helped me understand that if I could make a video game, I can make anything, right? Go here.
What games have you made?
Oh, I don't even know what we would call it. It was some sort of spaceship game where you could shoot like little asteroid type things, and then your ship would eventually crash. Very simple game.
How do you make apps?
Well, I think we're gonna learn about it today. One of the things is that you have to be able to learn to code, right, to tell the app what to do. So you need input, so you need like somebody to touch something, or you need somebody to say something. There has to be some sort of trigger to kind of start the decision-making process. And then what you're gonna learn today as we get onto computers is that you can tell it what to do after that. So when you click run or you click play, what do you want that to do? And so that app has commands that tell it what to do. And so that's gonna be really fun to play around with today.
It's not really like a question,
Mm-hmm.
but my dad, he made a website, and he's using it so that we could start doing like paying bills possibly because
Right?
it's like a fantasy football.
There you go, right? So it's really cool that we're living in a world right now where people can create businesses online, right? That can pay bills and that can help our families. And so I think that's one thing that you guys can really think about is sure, we are still gonna have our natural, normal world where people buy things and interact with things. Somebody has to still make chairs, right? Otherwise we won't have a place to sit. But it's really cool to think about a whole new world that's opened up where we can create businesses on the internet.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Do you have to be like into just technology to be really good at being a computer programmer? Or does it help to have other interests?
I think it helps to have other interests as well, for, if for nothing else, but to keep you sane. And what that means is like, if you just looked at a computer all day and just programmed all day, you would start to disconnect from the world around you, right? So one of the things that's really important for you guys to think about this too, is as you're doing social media and those sorts of things, is we still live in a very human world, right? We still want to have relationships with each other and hobbies and interests. Because if we just veg out on the computer too much, it's basically the same thing as sitting in front of the television the whole time, right? So I think it's good to have that. But then it also, your interests will push your programming in a direction, right? So your dad, for example, he must be interested in fantasy football, right? So he's taking that program and he's applying it to his interests. And so that's where he can create a line between what he loves and what he really enjoys doing and what he knows how to do, which is his work. And if you can make that connection, that's really fantastic.
And I've been very interested in how the people that have been coming in maybe went to college for something totally different than,
Yes.
you know, they've been art majors and different things like that. So that's
Yeah.
been neat.
I think by the time you guys graduate, you know, college, it's gonna be a little bit different, but, you know, as a business owner, it's hard right now because not a lot of people have been taught to do and to work with the technology that we have today. So kind of like we were talking about, if the iPhone 17 comes out tomorrow, no colleges have given us anybody that knows how to work with them. So we have to find people who are smart, who know how to think through problems, and who can have that mentality of being able to make choices for the computer. Yeah.
Did you go to college for what you doing right now?
Kind of. I did go for advanced information technology, but at the time that basically meant I could write really good papers in Word. So it didn't really teach me a lot about what I do today. And that's kind of, you know, again, because schools, they're trying to teach people things, but technology is coming out so fast, it's really hard for schools to keep up with kind of what's coming out.
Do you have another job, like a part-time?
I don't. I volunteer a lot, and then I also own a separate business of my own, a website called Guyville.com, in which we sell personalized gifts for people. So I don't have another job per se, but I do have another business that I operate. Last question here, and then maybe we should
Yeah,
jump in.
that
Okay.
sounds good.
Would Xbox games be harder to create than like computer games?
You know, I don't know that you're going to be able to compare them directly. I think both of them have the same type of difficulties. You have to plan kind of what you want the game to do or what you want the computer program to do. You have to then write all the code, and so some code is harder than others just because of the way it's written. Just like some instruments are harder to play than others, right? Drums might be easier to play than, let's say, guitar or piano. So there's something to be said about that, and then ultimately, all the testing and time to make sure that the game does exactly what you want it to do, also plays a part in it. So yeah, I don't know you can compare them directly, but both of them probably have a pretty good level of difficulty, but I think you guys will have a real good shot at making some cool stuff.
Right.